This is movie number 5 for Mamoru Hosada, and once again, he makes a movie that knocks it out of the park.
These little things all come together to make up who we are today. Let's go home!
Mirai is the 2018 Japanese animated film produced by Studio Chizu and written and directed by Mamoru Hosada, who has also made The Girl Who Left Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, The Boy and His Beast, Digimon the movie.
The movie centers around a 4-year-old boy named Kun, who is suddenly a big brother to his younger sister named Mirai. Kun doesn't like the attention that Mirai is getting and his parents not solely focusing on him anymore. So he gets upset a lot and has temper tantrums. At some points though, in his family garden, he finds himself seeing magical things and people and traveling to different time periods. A couple of his journeys has him coming across an older version of Mirai. Throughout these different adventures, Kun learns different lessons while also learning about his family in both the past and the future, also understanding what it means to be a big brother.
Now with any Mamoru Hoshida film, the animation is gorgeous. I will never get tired of this style of animation, and it makes me happy that between Hoshida, Studio Ponic, and other Japanese filmmakers, we are still getting some good, quality Japanese animated films even after the closing of Studio Ghibli. It's something that makes me really happy.
The backgrounds are so nice and detailed. Even the little things that you see around Kun's house has so much detail and attention to it. It really does make the house and its world feel real. When Kun goes on his adventures, the animation also can take on a different style in order to emphasize different moods. The character designs and expressions are entertaining as well, bringing surprisingly a lot of comedic moments to the movie.
I've always enjoyed the music from Hoshida's other movies, and Mirai is no exception. Lots of great piano pieces, orchestra pieces, or whatever else the scene needs. It's another movie soundtrack that I'll probably end up picking up sometime in the future. Probably the biggest thing that this movie accomplishes is having the most realistic toddler that I've ever seen in media, that being our main character Kun. His actions, dialogue, changing moods, and everything else is exactly what a 4-year-old would do or say.
He can be happy one minute, but then throw a temper tantrum the next minute over something so simple. But another second later, he can feel totally fine. Throughout the movie, Kun always exclaims that whenever something doesn't go his way, he hates his family, especially his younger sister Mirai. But then he'll learn something in his venture that changed the way he sees things and makes him a better person.
He's a good kid, but he's a kid. And I love how realistically the movie made him appear. The older version of his sister Mirai was also a lot of fun as well. She has a lot of charm and charisma. I love the way that she interacts with Kun and how she'll stop at nothing to get what she needs done. She was a very entertaining character in the movie. The dub work, presented by G-Kids, was pretty damn good. The young kid that they got to voice Kun was excellent, selling every single scene and making him sound really like a toddler in some of his little sounds and movements. Though my favorite actor was definitely John Cho as the father. I didn't even recognize him voicing the character until the credits, because he blends so well into the character. You can tell that John Cho is having a lot of fun being in this project, and that carries through in his voice work. I thought that the themes in Mirai were some strong and mature ones, also probably the most realistic themes that has appeared in any of Hoshida's movies.
There's something raw and realistic about the trials that Kun goes through and what he learns throughout the movie. Anyone who's young and suddenly has a younger brother or sister knows what it's like to when your parents suddenly have all their attention focused on the baby and not you anymore. Kun has real emotions and feels things that he can't comprehend.
But these adventures that he goes on helps him understand these feelings and helps him grow up little by little. Even the little themes that are sprinkled throughout the film in small ways was a nice touch as well. Now I do have some negatives with the film, and one of them is that the distinction of whether or not the adventures that Kun goes on are real or part of his imagination.
Throughout the first half of the movie, the film is really clever in never making a full distinction between one and the other, making me believe that all of this was in Kun's imagination. Like on the way to school, he'll see some girls in school uniforms, and then when he meets older Mirai for the first time, Mirai is wearing that school uniform.
Lots of little things like that happen, and I thought that that was very clever of the movie. However, after one point in the second half of the film, the movie stirs itself into saying that all the adventures Kun is going on was real and not imaginary. I kind of wish that it was left up more to interpretation. I feel like the script would have been a lot stronger if the film had just stuck to that. I also thought that the pacing could be a little off sometimes. There really wasn't any good transitions between the real world scenes and the magical type scenes. It would just suddenly shift into it and then later shift out of it suddenly. I feel like the transitions could have been a lot more cleaner in order for it to truly work. And as much as I loved all the fantastical scenes, the movie could feel a little repetitive and episodic.
Every adventure would start off with Kun being upset about something, crying and throwing a fit, going through something magical in the garden, having an adventure and learning something, and then applying this new knowledge in the world. It's just like that throughout the entire movie.
This is a good formula, and all of the real world and magical scenes were a lot of fun. I just wish that there'd be a little difference in some of the scenes, because some of the episodic scenes did drag a little because of this. Another problem I have with the movie actually does have to do with the title character of Mirai herself. Now you can see Mirai throughout the different posters, trailers, and other advertisements, making her seem like she's going to be in a lot of the movie. But honestly, she's only in about a third of the entire movie, and that was kind of disappointing. Mirai is such a charming and charismatic character that I just wanted more of her. I wish that she joined Kun more on the adventures that he went on. She was a character that I definitely wanted a lot more of. I also felt like the movie didn't have that much of a final resolution. The last adventure that Kun goes on is the biggest and most dramatic one, but when it was over, I felt like the movie just sort of ended. Stuff is learned and acknowledged, but it's no different than how the other adventures ended. A final resolution to the overall story would have made the movie a little stronger in my opinion. In the end though, Mirai is another excellent film from director Mamoru Hosada. It has great animation and music, engaging characters and family dynamics, a great dub, mature and relatable themes. It does fall a little bit with its lack of distinction between real and imaginary, pacing and repetitive problems, not a full use of the character Mirai, and a final resolution to wrap the entire movie up. But at the end of the day, this is the movie that I loved and will want to add it to my collection of Mamoru Hosada films. I'm gonna give this movie a B. Definitely see this movie if you're a huge fan of Mamoru Hosada like I am, or if you just want to see a good animated film. I think families with young kids might enjoy this movie too. Check it out and see for yourself.